10 Things You Didn't Know About Bob Marley. The life of Bob Marley is filled with stories of perseverance. Born in 1945 and raised dirt poor in 9 Miles, Jamaica, young Robert Nesta Marley struggled to be accepted because he was biracial. He was rejected by both black people and white people, often called white boy as a taunt. But Marley learned to embrace his biracial heritage, using prejudice as the fuel for his music's message against social injustice and bigotry. His music also changed after being introduced to Rastafari. In his short life, Marley accomplished great musical feats while being dedicated to Rastafari. He never let the fame overshadow his faith or his belief in uniting people, which has made him one of the greatest political musicians in history. Famous Bob Marley stories demonstrate his nearly mystical presence, especially when it came to performing. He treated the stage as a place of worship. Let's look at the life and legacy of Bob Marley. Coming up are some Bob Marley facts and trivia even diehard fans might not know. My name is Alex, and these are 10 facts you did not know about Bob Marley. If it's your first time here, consider subscribing, leave a comment, and turn notifications on so you never miss an update. Number 10. He had a mysterious missing white father. Englishman Norval Sinclair Marley worked as a plantation supervisor in St. Anne's Parish, Jamaica. He met Cedella Malcolm when she was 18 years and he was almost 60. He had become good friends with Malcolm's father and had taken a liking to her. When Malcolm discovered she was pregnant, they decided to get married. Shortly thereafter, Norval Marley and Malcolm separated, so Bob Marley grew up estranged from his father. Norval Marley died in Jamaica in 1955 when Bob Marley was 10. Number 9. He made his first record at 16 years old. Bob Marley's genius was discovered when he was still quite young. Desmond Decker, who had worked with Marley when they were apprentice welders, was an aspiring musician when he succeeded in an audition with Beverly's Records. While he was recording his music, he remembered Marley's talent and insisted that he came and record a song. At the tender age of 16, Marley wrote and recorded Judge Not in 1962. The song demonstrated Marley's point of view about being poor and biracial. People were struck by the talent of the young musician, who was grateful to Decker for the opportunity. Decker is credited with being one of the people who helped launch Bob Marley's amazing career. Marley retained gratitude, respect, and admiration for Decker for the rest of his life. Number 8. Marley and the Wailers were initially paid £3 per week, despite their early success. Coxsone Dodd, one of the biggest producers in Jamaican music history, helped Marley and the Wailers get started with his own recording studio, Studio One. They enjoyed a lot of early success, but ended up parting ways because the Wailers couldn't live off the meager pay. Apparently, Dodd took most of the money made from the Wailers' music. Bunny Livingston, Peter Tosh, and Bob Marley each got £3 per week, despite a booming sale of their early work. Only Jamaica really took notice of Bob Marley and the Wailers during the early stages of their careers. The world would finally be awed by the genius of Marley after he signed on with another recording studio called Island Records in 1972. Number 7. Joe Higgs made Marley sing for corpses. Joe Higgs, considered the father of reggae, developed the Wailers, Bob Marley group, holding them to a strict process. He also had a strange cure for stage fright. According to Bunny Wailer in the 2012 film Marley, he sent the young group to the local cemetery to sing for the dead. Joe Higgs said that if they went to the cemetery at 2 in the morning and sang for those people, then they can't be afraid when they hit the stage, Livingston said. So they performed. They performed in the cemetery several times until Joe thought they were brave enough. Number 6. There was an assassination attempt on his life at Hope Road. In 1976, Marley offered to do a free concert for the people of Jamaica during the height of the conflict between the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party. His goal was peace. Others say Marley was used as a political pawn, and he nearly paid with his life. The Smile Jamaica concert was quickly put, with many seeing Marley as taking sides with Prime Minister Michael Manley and the PNP. The concert was being presented in association with the cultural section of Manley's office. and without warning, Marley called for a special election just 2 weeks after the concert. That put Marley in a tough spot. Though he never wanted to take sides, all of a sudden his Goodwill concert turned into a political engine. Rumors spread that violence would break out at the concert, but Marley was determined to perform the peace concert. His bandmates had their misgivings and were openly nervous. When they took a break from rehearsal, two gunmen stormed Marley's home and began to shoot. Marley was grazed across the chest, a bullet lodging in his arm. Fortunately, no one was killed, but the bullet stayed in Marley's arm until his death. A doctor had told him that surgery to remove it risked loss of control of his fingers. Many believed it was an attack by Edward Seaga's men, leader of the JLP. However, Marley didn't let the attack stop him from holding the peace concert. Marley and the Wailers went on to play the concert for 80,000 people from both sides of the conflict on neutral grounds. Number 5. After the assassination attempt and emotionally distraught, Marley fled to London, where he wrote some of his best music. After the attack at Hope Road, Marley retreated to London in 1977 with a few of his closest pals. Insiders said he was angry, confused, and hurt. Marley and his small crew played football on a nearby public field and wrote music. They enjoyed being taken from the political firestorm back in Jamaica. But those close to Marley saw his pain and anger over the attempt on his life at Hope Road. He was reluctant to head back into the fray, trying to sort out who had targeted him, his family, his band, and his friends. The brush with death also inspired Marley. He pushed himself to create as much music as he could, sleeping only a few hours at night. He wrote some of his best music of his career in London. While Marley wrote and collaborated with his band, things were falling apart back in his home island of Jamaica. The Jamaican government informally sent envoys from both the PNP and the JLP to plead with Marley to return to the country, because the icon had a calming effect. Reluctantly and ultimately determined, Marley returned. Number 4. He brought the ghetto uptown in Kingston. With success came access. Chris Blackwell offered Island House in the nicest part of Kingston to Marley to rehearse, a place where black people might have served in great houses, but not where they lived. Eventually, Marley bought the home on Hope Road from Blackwell, a property he received as part of the recognition of his record deal for Natty Dread in 1974. This turned out to be a revolutionary step because Rastas weren't allowed uptown. The sight of dreadlocks would have been shocking. Neville Garrick recalls one of the reaction to the Trenchtown Marleys moving into the neighborhood. A woman said to Bob, "How come you live at 56 Hope Road, which is 2 doors up from King's House where the governor lives, and 3 doors up from Jamaica House where the Prime Minister lives?" And Bob just said, "Sister, I bring the ghetto uptown." Number 3. Marley cared a great deal about his health. He was an early adopter of juicing. Fresh fruits and vegetables were blended every day. Marley put Irish moss on the fire and drank fish tea. He trained with manager and professional footballer Alan Skillcole. There were group runs up a local waterfall and constant football games where Marley was characteristically competitive. Number 2. As a child, he liked to tell fortunes. People say that Marley could tell fortunes by reading palms from a very young age. He gave uncanny readings to friends, leading some to believe that his inner mystic was awakened then. However, Marley's palm reading career ended when he moved to Kingston and people discouraged him from practicing fortune telling. Oddly, before he walked away from reading palms, he predicted that he would one day build his own recording studio and pressing plant that would become world-renowned. Number 1. A football injury led to the fall of an idol. In 1977, during a soccer game in Paris, Marley's big toe was pierced by a football shoe cleat, or spike. While it appeared to be a standard wound, it failed to heal. When Marley was examined, the doctor discovered a rare form of cancerous melanoma. There was talk of amputation. Various accounts state that Marley was subjected to amputation because it went against his Rastafarian faith. Others say the fact that removing his big toe would affect his ability to move and dance also played a factor. He got a second opinion in Miami at the suggestion of Chris Blackwell, and his doctor recommended a skin graft. This proved fatal for the musician. In the summer of 1980, Marley collapsed while on a jog with a friend in New York's Central Park. He had a seizure but was able to get up and walk. A doctor's visit revealed that Marley's cancer has metastasized throughout his body. Marley was shaken by the sad news and performed for the last time in September in Pittsburgh. Determined to beat the cancer, Marley tried a round of chemo, losing his famous dreads. However, the treatment was unsuccessful. Marley tried to find a solution for 8 months in Germany with Dr. Joseph, a holistic doctor who successfully treated this particular form of melanoma before. However, at this point, the cancer already advanced too far along, and Marley's transition, the Rasta term for death, was imminent. Guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, remember to subscribe to Elite Jamaica, leave a comment, and click the notification icon so you never miss an update.